Hello, new school comic book reviews. Okay, we're just going to jump into it. Today I have Black Widow number 4, written by Nathan Edmondson and art by Phil Noto. This particular issue looks like it's the start of a kind of a bigger issue. Natasha has to take on a Russian hitman, and we really don't learn too much about him or what his agenda is or who's behind him. He seems to be sort of a religious zealot, but you really there's obviously more to him than just that. Um, Pretty solid issue. The previous issues kind of seemed to be sort of almost little one and dones that kind of had a loose connection, but here it looks like we're starting to get into a bigger story, which is great. And I liked it. It's pretty much solid, straightforward espionage comic. Not a whole lot of super heroic type stuff. You've got big action, but it feels like big blockbuster movie type action as opposed to comic book superhero type action. But it works. It's good for what it is. It's solid. The writing is solid. It's tight. I kind of like the voice that Edmondson has found for Natasha, and like I said, it works. I also like Phil Noto's art a lot. The colors he used are a lot muted, which is a little bit different than what you're probably used to in a mainstream superhero comic. But again, it works for the kind of feel and atmosphere that I think they're going for. And yeah, not super deep, but it works for what it is, and I think it's a pretty good comic. Next, we have Harley Quinn number 4. The story is by Amanda Connor and Jimmy Palmiotti, and the art is by Stephanie Rue, and the colorist is Paul Mounts. Basically, this is just a crazy, over-the-top, tongue-in-cheek type comic. Basically, Harley Quinn is living in some apartment building in Coney Island, and she's got crazy tenants. There's people out to kill her. She's out there enacting vengeance on people for the slightest thing, and it's just crazy and over top, and lots of tongue-in-cheek humor and things like that. Let's see here. Now, I don't always follow like what comics are doing as far as sales are concerned, but I guess Harley Quinn is doing really well. It's one of the top comics, I guess, for DC. So good for them that they were able to get a female protagonist in the top 10. So yeah. Anyway, in this particular issue, she is working at a nursing home and decides she's going to enact vengeance on the family of this older lady because they don't visit her enough. And like I said, just lots of crazy, over the top violence and wackiness. And there's a kind of funny Star Wars gag in there. I also kind of like it just makes me laugh that one of the guys that lives in Harley's building seems to be a parody or homage to Glenn Danzig. And yeah, for the most part, I thought it was funny. It wasn't great. It isn't super clever, but for what it is, it's good. I mean, it's kind of shaping up to be almost DC's version of Deadpool in a way. Not as much breaking the third wall or fourth wall, but just like I said, crazy, over the top, violent, wacky, and yeah, it's enjoyable for what it is. Next, I have what do I have? I've got Daredevil number 1, written by Mark Waid and artist by Chris Samey, and colorist is by Javier Rodriguez. Again, solid first issue. It does what a first issue I think should. It introduces you to the character, to what his environment is. You get to see how he uses his powers and things like that. And that's what I really like the most about this. You actually get to see Daredevil using his super senses in very creative and imaginative ways. I think that was kind of lost on the character for a lot of years when people were following his footsteps of Frank Miller. They were just doing his kind of hard-boiled crime stuff and pulp stuff, and they kind of neglected the kind of more fantastical elements of Daredevil. But it seems like Mark Waid's been trying to bring that sort of thing back, and he pulls it off. Here, Daredevil has moved from has moved from New York, and he has set up shop in San Francisco with his new partner. And you see him working with the police station to the local police to catch a, or I'm sorry, to find a kidnapped girl. And I don't want to give away some of the more intriguing bits of it, but like I said, it works. It's clever. It's an imaginative. It's just solid superheroic stuff. It works as a single issue. It also works to kind of set up bigger things, I think, and I like it. I also like Mark Samy's art. Not quite. It's got that quite. He strikes that right balance between cartoony and more detailed superhero-ish type art, and it kind of really makes the kind of comic book kind of medium work. You know, there's things he does with the visuals and the layouts, you know, that you can't get in like a movie or TV thing. And once again, for what it is, it's a solid representation of, you know, what you can do in a superhero comic. And finally, I have Ms. Marvel #2. Excuse me. Written by G. Willow Wilson, and the art is by Adrian Alfona. The coloring is by Ian Herring. Again, solid issue. Uh, Here we see the new Ms. Marvel discovering her powers and trying to figure out how to use them and things like that. It's kind of decompressed in the sense that she's not quite Ms. Marvel yet, or she's not the new Ms. Marvel, but we're getting there. This is probably one of those comics that's going to read a lot better in trade. But I think it's solid. I think Kamala Khan is a very charming character, and yeah, I guess that's a good way to describe her. You know, the kind of plucky girl next door type of thing, and it works for me. I think the only drawback with this comic is, like I said, the decompression, i.e., you know, the comic got a lot of like press outside of the comic book community. You know, it got press, it got write-ups as far as like mainstream media and things like that. Where, you know, Khan is like, you know, she's a young teenage Muslim superhero. She's starring in her own comic, stuff like that. And I'm wondering if people who don't normally read superhero comics might pick this up because of like, oh, okay, let me check this thing out. I wonder how they might feel if they would just pick this comic book up in isolation. And like I said, we haven't gotten to her being a superhero yet. You know, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I mean, people might be charmed by it the same way that I am. Um, so, you know, I mean, here's hoping. But like I said, solid issue. This comic takes a slower pace than a lot of the other comics that I've read, or the three previous comics I've talked about. But it's a it's a good read, and I'm just you know, I'm sorry. I like the character. I like the character and I like the comic. I'm definitely going to pick up the next issue. I thought it was really fun, and it's a comic I want to support, at least for the meantime. What else did I get? I also got Shadow Man 16. Haven't read it yet. Afterlife with Archie 4. Haven't read it yet. And I was missing an issue of Painkiller Jane. Again, haven't finished reading it yet. When I do, maybe I'll do a issue. Maybe I'll do a review of all four issues. I'm gonna have, I think, some time off in the next day or two, so hopefully I can get a couple more videos up. Anyway, I gotta thank everybody that's been listening to my videos. I've been kind of out of the loop for a while as far as putting videos up on YouTube and trying to get back into the swing of things. So I want to thank everybody that said anything nice, people who leave comments, people who supported me. Like I said, I'm gonna try to kind of mix up the reviews as well. But I guess that's it. Thank you, everybody, and everybody have a good day.